You know what's wild? I've been scrolling through what's supposed to be coverage of Ripple's Swell conference, and all I find are fake YouTube channels with AI Brad Garlinghouse promising to double your XRP after scanning a code and sending XRP to an unknown address. And that made me realize something huge. When the story isn't real, or actually, when the real story isn't being told, the internet fills the silence with noise. But here's the truth. Swell is Ripple's own conference. They didn't get invited to the table. They built their own. And this hit deeper than I expected. Personally, I grew up in the South in the United States, in rooms where conversation about money and power were rarely made for people who looked like me. Even now, I still feel that echo sometimes in the comment section that carries a quiet tone of approval, like I've earned the right to speak about finance only because someone else decided I could. But real builders don't wait for permission. Ripple didn't ask to join the conversation. They became the host of the conversation. Let's slow this down. Ripple is a financial technology company that helps banks and businesses move money around the world faster, cheaper, more transparently. Their network, the XRP Ledger, is like a global highway for money. The digital asset XRP acts as a bridge between currencies, settling transactions in seconds, where SWIFT, the current or outdated system, many would say, still takes days. That gap, seconds versus days, is the space Ripple's been closing for over a decade. And when I say currencies, what I mean is fiat money, the kind governments print, dollars, euros, pounds, and so on. It's called fiat because its value comes from trust, not from gold or silver, but from people believing their government will honor it. Ripple's tech connects that trust across borders, turning isolated systems into one continuous network. And when I say swell, this is Ripple's Davos. And here's what I mean. Davos is that global conference in Switzerland where world leaders and CEOs meet to talk about the economy. Swell is Ripple's version of that, but for the future of money movement. And this year in particular, it's not crypto hype. It's actually NASDAQ, G Treasury, Standard Custody, and even policymakers tied to the White House and the IMF, which is the International Money Fund, all speaking on Ripple's stage. This year, Ripple isn't defending its legitimacy anymore. They've settled with the SEC, they've acquired Hidden Road and G Treasury, and they've launched their new stablecoin called RLUSD. Swell 2025 isn't about speculation. It's about infrastructure. The rails that global finance now needs to function. And here's the truth underneath all of this. Systems rarely choose to evolve, and neither do people. They wait until they are forced to evolve. For years, banks and regulators could afford to ignore blockchain. But now, in my opinion, the technology and beyond my opinion, I think even in truth, the technology works. The liquidity is real and deep. And the pressure is here. They aren't showing up because they finally believe. They're showing up because they cannot afford not to believe. And this is why the story matters. It's not just a crypto headline. It's a blueprint for how change happens in real time. Builders don't argue with gatekeepers. They build what replaces the gate. Every system resists new ideas until the pressure becomes too strong to ignore. Ripple did not get invited to Swell. They built the infrastructure that made the invitations necessary. And honestly, that's the same rhythm I feel here building this channel. When you're early, people doubt you. And I felt this from a lot of people. When you're consistent, they question your relevance. I see this. But when your building starts to matter, or when what you're building starts to matter, they eventually find their way to your table. And that's what I hope is happening in this moment. Because truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs to keep building. So, if you've ever felt unseen or unheard in a space that wasn't built for you, remember this. You don't have to wait for permission. Ripple didn't, and neither do you. And the truth is, I'm not here to argue with the loudest voice in the room. I'm here to translate what most people don't yet understand and to build clarity where confusion has kept people out. So, if this has helped you see things just a little clearer, hit the like button. This like that seems so simple lets YouTube know this is the kind of calm conversation that matters. Also, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want more episodes that cut through the noise. And if you know someone who's still on the outside of this conversation, pass this episode on. Because the more people who understand what's actually being built, the stronger this space becomes. And just to be clear, this channel is about education and perspective. It's not financial advice. Thank you for joining me for another episode. I'm James Harris, and this is Layer 1.